close our eyes, settle into a comfortable seat. Take a few breaths. Like if you feel inspired, take a big breath and sigh it out. Just like clearing it out. Yeah. Do that a few times. Big breath and sigh it out. Keep doing that. You can even get vocal about it if you're, feeling a little tense, sturdy thing. It could be like, yeah. You're in your own space probably, so do what feels right for you. I like bringing my shoulders up just a little bit and letting them go. One more time. And we'll quiet down. It may stay as a sigh sound and it might become a little quieter. Turning into long exhales. You might be breathing, exhaling through your nose or through your mouth. And we're not straining to create exhale, we're just allowing it and noticing the fullness of the exhale. Notice the space at the end of your exhale before you inhale. And just notice how it feels to have that little space, that little time. If it's hard to access that, notice that it's hard to access it. Notice the space after your inhale, that fullness place. Before exhaling. So it's almost like polar ends of the breath. The fullness at the beginning and the fullness at the end. Take the hands to the heart, taking a moment of intention or gratitude intention and gratitude. With your hands here at the sternum, at the chest, use your thumbs, the area that's touching your chest here, just slide them up and down at the sternum, the I guess breastbone, people call it. Right along midline, maybe just slightly out to the side. You might notice it feels a little tender. If it's hard to do this with, I just like the feeling of the parallel thumbs. If that's kind of uncomfortable to do with your arms, you could use your fingers and just slide up and down or hold little space. I'm using my fingertips and making tiny circles. You might even feel the space where your ribs come in and attach here. Feeling your ribs. Sometimes those little spaces in between the ribs really close in can be a little tender. Good, let that go. Take your hand, I'm taking the full palm and the bony area of my wrist to the front of my shoulder. Big circle massage at the front in the pec area. The front of the chest here. If you come out towards the hollow part of your shoulder where your arm bone rounds in and this part gets a little hollow, if you go in here and push inward towards center, it might feel interesting. And we'll just change sides, just giving a little chest massage here. The pecs. This area gets really tensed up for people, especially like with posture of using computers, sitting a lot, these sort of like texting or like, you know, most of us do it. It's pretty natural way that the body wants to roll in. We're just working to change those postural patterns for spine health and neck health. Oh. So I'm using the side of my thumb, like my thumb area, and pushing inward. And it is so tender. Good, let that go. Roll your shoulders. Come into your cat cows. Just rolling a bit into cat cows, warming up. It can be a good time to notice if there's other areas that are feeling a little tense or checking in, oh, my shoulders are really feeling tight today, or, you know, even like in your forearms where you're holding onto your legs. Good, roll the shoulders down, stretch your arms out and up, take it slow if you can. If you have a shoulder injury, it might not be comfortable to go slow. There might be spots along the way where it's like, oh, reach up. Exhale, press your hands together to the heart and back up and out. All the way down, fingertips down. Draw your shoulders back, Draw your chin in, spine up, relax your legs, and draw your chin down. A little bit of movement side to side if your neck is okay with that. Bring it back through center. Inhale, reach up again. Interlace the fingers, one big breath. Pressing up. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Walk your hands forward. And come back up and change your leg position if you like to. Continuing some cat-cows. The next time you round back, stay back, keep breathing. Draw in through your front body. Keep breathing. Roll the heart forward, stay forward. Keep breathing. Notice where you're tensed and try to soften a bit. And let that go. Let's take some circles, Kundalini circles. Change direction. And back to neutral. Stretch up and release the fingers to press up. Big breath through your sides, big stretch up. Draw the hands forward and round. Inhale up, release your hands, easy breezy down. Take your hand to the opposite leg, round back. Depending on where you're holding onto your leg, you might find different sensations in your back and shoulders. Notice where you're holding. Lift up the spine and change which arm is on top. You might change where you're holding. So I'm going to take my hands from my shins to around my knees. And easy reach up. With the palms facing each other. Another breath, keep the palms facing in the same direction and soften your elbows, soften your hands to your sides. Good. Let's roll into the table, flow through some cat-cows and keep going. Awesome. Let's walk the hands up to a kneeling position. Ground into the tops of the feet. Patting your knees might be useful. Bring the hands to the low back. Give a little love to the low back, a little massage. These big muscles at the low back. The QLs. All right, let that go. Let's come up into down dog. Pedaling your feet if it feels good, working through the ankles, warming up your ankle, warming up through the front and the back of the legs. There's a muscle, tibialis anterior, that is just to the outside of your shin bone. At the upper, like underneath your knee, just outside of your shin bone. Kind of a teardrop shaped muscle. The tendon comes down across the front of the ankle and into the arch. It helps to form the arch. I'm looking at it now, so I was just thinking about it and how incredible it is. It flexes your ankle. Good. Come all the way forward. Forward fold. You might use a block for your hands. Halfway lift. I like using a block to lengthen. Forward fold, bend the knees. Halfway lift, lengthen. Lengthening the legs, lengthening the spine. Forward fold. Laying onto the legs. Relax the top of the head down. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Hold it for another breath. Take your time rising up. The front body lifts you up. The quads are very strong. The core is lifting you up. Stretch up. Exhale your arms to your sides. Good. Roll your shoulders back. And we'll get into it. Stretch up, forward fold. Halfway lift into your plank pose. Step back, hold your plank. Knees up or down. Keep breathing. Soft jaw, soft eyes, smooth breath. Bring the knees down if they're not already. Lift up your feet and lower down. Take little cobras with your breath. Hugging the elbows back. The heart lifts up and then lower. Anchor your feet, keep going. Even the pinky toe is anchored to the mat. Using the strength of your back to roll the heart open. Feeling your shoulder blades drawing towards each other as your chest lifts up. Noticing your neck, the back of the neck. So trying not to strain it. If it feels like you're kind of pulling from your back of your neck, think about Drawing up through the front of the neck instead. Good, let that go. Ooh, a little warm. Press up to your knee plank. Tuck the toes under and lift up the hips to your down dog. Come all the way forward. Bend into the knees and rise up. Reach up and relax. I've been really into thinking about the muscles at the front of the neck, supporting the back of the neck and the shoulders, just like the core muscles in the front, the abdominal muscles supporting the back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, step back into plank. Lower into your chaturanga, lowering down. I recommend sometimes into cobra to continue warming up. Exhale, push back to down dog. Good, come forward. Half lift to forward fold. Rise up. Arms to the sides. Take a breath. And begin again. Stretch up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back to plank. Come down. Cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Come all the way forward. Half lift, forward fold. Inhale, come up. Let it go. Mountain pose. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back to plank and come through your chaturanga. If it's up dog or cobra, it's up to you. Exhale back to down dog. Come forward. Half lift, forward fold. Rise up. Arms to the sides. Come down to chair. Inhale, stretch up, forward fold. Halfway left and step your right leg back to crescent lunge. Half lift, right foot steps back, core lifts you up. Breathe. Knee over the heel in the front. Back heel lifting. Hips squaring forward. Space between the feet. About 1 fist or 1.5. So train tracks. Exhale, lower your hands down. Step back into plank. Roll through your chaturanga. Exhale back to down dog. Come all the way forward. Halfway lift, forward fold. Good. Come up. Arms to the sides. Ooh, take a breath. And inhale, stretch up, forward fold. Halfway lift. And we're gonna step the left foot to crescent lunge, step it back. Use that deep core strength. Front body lifts you up. Crescent lunge. Hands down. Step back. Come through chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Big exhale. Stretch your right leg up. Exhale to step that foot forward. Rise up through crescent lunge. Arms to the side, step forward. Down to chair. So I keep from pushing my tail far back. Kind of think about making more of a smooth line through the tailbone, sinking back, drawing into the core. Sometimes having the hands kind of at the waist can help thinking about the energy drawing in more. Stretch up, woo. Forward fold. Halfway lift. We're taking the right foot to warrior one. So the right foot's gonna step back. The toe, the heel, the core lifts you up. The front body lifts you up. You might need to adjust your stance. Good, lengthen into your pyramid. Folding over your leg. Good, exhale. Bend back into that knee. Use your core strength to rise up. Lift up, step forward, arms to the sides. Come down to chair. Reach up, forward fold. Halfway lift. Take the left foot back. Warrior one. Lengthen out that leg, coming into your pyramid. Bend your knee and come up. Step forward, arms to the sides. Down to chair. Inhale, stretch up, forward fold. Halfway lift into plank pose. Come through your chaturanga. Exhaling back to down dog. Stretch your left leg up. Exhale, step it forward and come up through crescent. Step forward. Chair. Good. Come up to mountain pose. Oh. Open out onto your mat. Stretch up and fold. I'm going to stay up. I got a little lightheaded, so I'm just going to stay up, but you come into your wide forward fold. Take a moment breathing through what feels good. Through the practice, we're gaining discernment. What feels good? What feels safe? Noticing any alerts from the body. Adjusting as needed. Noticing what we can breathe through. Bend your knees and come up. Set up to goddess pose. Exhale, lots of space across your chest, into the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other to give a little more space from elbow, across the chest to elbow, open palms. Knees are bent in the same direction as the toes, and that might need a little adjustment. Come up and come down. Come up and come down. And come up. Let the arms come down. Bring the feet back to a parallel. Open out the right foot. And we're going to sink into a side angle. So take your time coming into your side angle. Kind of like inching my foot for a little bit more space. Stretching open. This is, to me, a place where I can sort of notice, is this a physical discomfort that is okay and I can breathe through it, keeping calm, retraining my nervous system? Or is my hip like saying it's too much? I can't tell you. Come on up. Ooh, a little much. And come into triangle. Press into the big toe, ball mound. It's okay, stretch your top hand overhead like a rainbow, stretching away from your hip. I like to come out of that by just bending my elbow to my side. Bending your front knee, reverse warrior. Keep breathing and come out. Rotate into your wide forward fold. Stretch out side to side, hug your leg. Hug the other leg, keep going. Good, come back up to center. Set up to the left. Find your alignment, front knee over the heel and ankle. If it's not over it, but it's a little like closer to you, it's okay. We're working towards this alignment of a 90-degree angle. If it's extending out towards your toes, that's not stable on your knee, and give yourself a little bit more space for your feet. Side angle, stretch out. Keep breathing. Come up to a triangle. If it's okay, reach your hand overhead. It could be like difficult or uncomfortable if your shoulder isn't stable. It could be kind of a lot to do that. That's why I say if it's okay. Bend the elbow to your side to come out. Reverse your warrior. Let it go. Rotate back into your wide forward fold. Take a moment bending into one knee at a time. Getting into the feeling of that inner leg length. If you like Skandasana, bending all the way into that knee to rotate the other foot up, go for it. Otherwise, you can keep going side to side. Come back through center. Wide forward fold. And we'll slowly come out. Standing. Take a moment in your mountain. Good. Let's start with a tree pose. And I think I want to try half moon today. And of course, your practice is your practice, and you can do what's right for you. Standing in tree pose, I'm going to start with my right leg on the ground, just like this for a centering pose. Any expression that comes up in your arms, what feels good for you. Come out. Other side. And come out. So if you have a block or chair or anything around that you could use, recommend it. But hold on to the block the long way. In an easy mountain pose to start, taking the right foot to rotate out, like the tiniest little warrior two. Hand to the hip, left hip. Look at the ground where you're going to put your block or your hand. You don't have to use a prop, it just helps. I'm going to put it in front of my pinky toe. Maybe with about 5 or 6 inches of space. Lifting the back leg up as my block or hand comes down. The toes are rotated straight out, so they don't rotate up or down. The top hand might come up over time. It can stay at the hip. Noticing your standing leg, ground in, active quads. Easy come out. You can bend the standing leg a little, bring your foot down, side body that's closer to the ground, active to lift you up. Change sides. Visualize where you want the hand or the block to go. The heels are aligned. And you can take time. It might just be kind of coming in and out of that space. If your standing foot moves around, just come out, realign, and come back. You look good. Come on out. Ooh, I love those half moons. I love those half moons. Let's do a little side stretch and then we'll come down and relax. So let's take the left leg in front. I always picture like a little kid drawing of, or a little kid, same as my own drawing of a house where like my top foot is like the top of the house and my back foot is like the wall. So we're going to draw the hips to the right and lift the hands together up and away to the left. We're stretching through the back leg side of the hip. Come out, other side. And we'll stretch the hips over to the left. There are things to consider, like the angle of your back leg, the heel being down or up. Probably down. The angle of the chest. And let it go. There's a lot of sensations that could be felt depending on the angle that you're stretching at. Good. Okay, let's come on to the front of the mat. Come down into a froggy squat, your garland pose. And if you have something that you want to use for support, like a cushion or a block or something, you might. And come down to your table, stepping back in your way. Sink back into your child's pose, and before coming to still child's pose, you might just walk your hands side to side, getting a little stretch through the sides. Settle down into child's pose. Any of the variations through your arm. Good. Slowly make your way up to a seat. I'm going to come to a butterfly seat to start. You might like to rock a little bit. Lift up your spine and we'll make it a twist. Taking the right hand behind. Lengthen the back of the neck. Draw your chin in a little bit. Rotate out, other side. Rotate out. Take your left leg forward, straight forward. Right foot close in, adjust your seat. Maybe you use a pillow or something underneath to create this upward lift through the pelvis. Stretch forward and down. Come up and change legs. I do want a pillow. Holding over that leg, breathing. And come on up. Good. I want to come on back to our backs to finish up. So I'm going to sink back to your back. I like coming through a boat pose, real slow, lowering down. Taking a moment in your happy baby. Bring your feet down. Ease. Windshield wipe the knees side to side. Set up for your figure four, left leg up and cross it over. Any variation of your figure four that feels good for you. Come on out. Change sides. And come on out. Either feet together for butterfly or knees together for daydreamer. Just settling into being here. If your knees are open, go ahead and bring them together. Take your arms, and we're just going to stretch the arms across. I like holding my elbows a little bit for stability, stretching across the chest. Almost as if you can imagine yourself in a thread the needle kind of stretch here. Change sides, stretching across the chest. Again. And again. Release the arms, bring the arms and legs up to your bear pose. And spend a moment in bear pose. Feel free to transition into any last poses you might need today in this time. Well, we didn't twist. Well, my last pose is going to be a twist for sure. Changing side if it's a side to side pose, if you're twisting. If you were twisting, come out. If you need any other poses or movements. And settle into your Shavasana when you're ready to take a moment of stillness. Scan your body. Relaxing from the top of the head, easy through the body.